morning, you guys. This is Katrina from Unhindered Stables, and you guys are getting to watch my very first full training session. So I'm going to record from beginning to end what I'm doing with Genesis, and I'm going to talk through it. That way you guys can get a little bit of a feel for what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So this will be longer than most of my videos, but it'll be also a little bit more informative, and I think it'll be a little bit more fun to watch. So here we go. So Genesis is here in the round pen. She's all worked up because I've separated her from the horses. So she's lunging herself right now. Let her wear herself out. So what I will do is I will put some pressure on her to get her moving her feet, hopefully get her connected here. So I was going to attempt to halter her, but since she's a little bit more nervous, I'm going to send her out and move her feet first. And then we will attempt to halter after I feel like she's calmed down and connected. So she's already running to the left, so I'm not going to do anything to switch that up. I'm just going to go ahead and make it my idea. So I'm going to say, I want you to go to the left, I'm stepping, I'm pointing, and then once she does what I've asked her to do, which she already has, then I'll just try to keep my body relaxed here. So there she tried to change direction on her own. I'm just going to block her and send her off. Make sure that she maintains her direction. You guys can see that I'm hardly moving. That's a key way to get a horse's respect, is if they move their feet a lot and you don't move your feet. That lets them know that you're kind of the herd leader in this situation. So she keeps wanting to stop at the gate here and change direction. So this time I'm going to make her actually go faster over here at the gate. That way it becomes a little less comfortable to be at the gate, and she'll get to relax over there. And when I ask her to change direction or to stop, that's where she'll be stopping. So just put some pressure on over here and make sure that she... Oh, hi there. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So there she decided that she was done running and wanted to rest, and she came into the center. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Sometimes, if it feels like it's a threat, I'll send her back out, but she just seems like she's got it out of her system at this point. So from here, I'm just going to let her relax. I'm going to turn my back on her so she knows that she can really decompress right now. I want to make the center of the arena and being next to me the most comfortable spot for her. So that would mean for her that the pressure is off. The stick is relaxed, my body's relaxed. I'm not even looking at her, because even a look of the eye can be pressure for a horse. So she feels pretty good. I hear her licking and chewing back here. So that to me says that she is processing and coming down a little bit. Her head's still pretty high, and she's still swinging it around a little bit. So I might go ahead and just send her out a little bit more, change direction here a little bit, and then see if I can't get her to relax a little bit better before I put the halter on her. Good. So I've actually never asked her to back up that way. And so since she did take a step, I'm letting her know that she's done the right thing. There she's licking and chewing. And that tells me that she understands that she's processing that when I wave the stick like this, she should back up. Okay? That's really good. Licking and chewing for horses is a sign that they're thinking, that they're processing, and they're relaxing. So when I do a exercise with her and she does the right thing, and I stop doing what I'm doing, and she shows me that she is processing that and thinking about that, that's a good thing for us. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and send her out. I'm going to point, step, spank, to let her know what direction I want her to go. She's wanting to go the opposite direction, so I'm going to make sure that I'm placing my body in a way that is going to deter her. See, I don't like that. I wish that she would have turned the other way and not turned her butt towards me. See it there? She's wanting to turn her butt, and I really want to steer her head. There we go. That was better. I don't care to see my horse's rumps. I'd rather them look at me, hi, good girl, and then go from there. So she's really wanting to cut this side of the arena. So I'm going to put pressure on now over here and let her kind of relax over there. Let her know that that's going to be a more comfortable spot this round. So there, I'm going to put pressure. Hi! There she wanted to turn and face me, come in, and I'm going to let her do that this time. She gave me a decent lap that last time, so hi. What do you think? So from here I'm going to see how comfortable she is with my stick and string touching her. I want to do exercises where the stick and string ask her to move her feet, and then exercises where they ask her to keep her feet still. That way she learns that this isn't something to be afraid of. It's just part of my body and a tool that I'm going to use to make myself a little bit bigger. So I try to make sure that I'm doing stuff like this to let her know that not every time I pick up my stick and string does it mean that you're going to run. She's still tight to me. She's like, her head's high, and she's just seems a little bit stressed out still. I'm going to go ahead though and attempt to put the halter on her. I'd like to see her a little bit more relaxed before I try this, but one of the things that's working against us really bad today is that she's getting bit up like crazy by the flies. You can see her swishing her tail and stomping her feet. And I want to get some fly spray on her, and right now I need a halter and a rope to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and attempt to get this halter on her, so we can work on the fly spray a little bit and get her a little bit more comfortable, and then we can kind of come back and search for that relaxation. So there I let her sniff the halter, and then I took it away, and that lets her know that being curious about the halter is the best thing, because that's what makes the halter go away. Then I take the halter and I want to touch her with it, make sure that she's comfortable with me touching her with it. I do try to like bunch it up and use it as like a scratching tool. She's got bug bites up under her chin, so I like to bring it up under here and rub her bug bites with it, because then she really starts getting a positive idea about what the halter is used for. Like, she sees a halter, with me with the halter, and says, oh, that's that bug bite scratcher, versus, oh, that's that thing that she catches me with. I'm going to get a lot better results out of trying to catch her. That was pretty good. She didn't move her feet. She doesn't feel any more tense than she was before. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of touch her up here, where the halter is going to be coming up over her ears. There she is turning to face me again. At first she turned her head away, but now she's turning back to look at me again, which I like, so I'm going to go ahead and take it away. Let her know that she's done the right thing by standing still and looking at me. Good. Now I'm going to just walk over to this side. This is the side that I have to halter her on, and make sure that she's comfortable with me being over here on this side of her body. She feels a little tense, but honestly, a lot of times she tries to block me with her head from even getting over here. And today she didn't do that. So I'm really happy about that. I'm going to go ahead and walk away and let her know that she's done the right thing. So definitely learned that being close to me is where the comfort is. You don't have to work when you're so close to me, huh? Huh, baby girl? So I reached for her face there and she bent away. I just wanted to come back to that and let her know that, I mean, touching her face isn't something she needs to be afraid of, so. Feel good about where she is right now. I'm going to go ahead and put the halter on her. Attempt to put the halter on her. We'll see how she feels about that. So I'm reaching up and over. There she is. Feels a little tense. She's already bending her head back to let me know, hey, I'm not sure about this. So as soon as she relaxes here, I'll actually back off. I'm not going to throw the rope on her from here. I'm just going to let her know that she needs to hold still and she needs to relax her head a little bit. There's this tendency to want to use her head to block me out from the areas of her body that she's uncomfortable with. And I don't really care for her head being on top of me. So there, she's keeping her head away from me. She's still tense, but she's at least not trying to block me out anymore. I'm going to go ahead and back off. She kept her head straight. So just going to let her know, and there's the licking chew that I was hoping for. So we're going to come back and do that again, see if it's any better. Hand goes up and over. That already looks a little bit better. She didn't bend her head quite as far around. And she's blinking now, which lets me know that she's a little bit more relaxed. I'll go ahead and reward her for that. See if we can get a lick and chew out of that. There's a lick and chew. Come back. Try it again. Good. I'm going to go ahead and bring the halter up. There, she's uncomfortable, so we're just going to stay here until she relaxes. It might be hard to see what I'm saying by she's uncomfortable, but as soon as I reached up to grab that rope, she backed up, her eyes went tight, so she stopped blinking, and her head's up high. So there's a sigh. I'm going to go ahead and reward that relaxation. A sigh is a good sign. And there's the lick and chew to boot. Good. Get back to right where we were. It's already better. I'm still going to go ahead and send her face away. I don't like her face on top of me. Good. So this looks like it's taken a lot of time, you guys, but you got to keep in mind that this horse, 3 weeks ago, you could hardly touch her. I mean, you could touch her on her terms, but not on yours. And the idea of a rope being around her made her go ballistic. So this is really good for where she was just a couple weeks ago. Alright, gonna come back, reach up. I'm just gonna stay here. Ask her to keep her head away from me. I'm just gonna put up my hand here as a block. That way if she wants to bring her head over, she's just gonna run into my hand. I don't have to necessarily punish her or push her away anymore. So yeah, she feels pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead, touch her nose with the halter, bring it up. There, she's tight. So we're going to stay here. We're not going to go any farther until she processes that. Anytime she brings her head up and her eyes stop blinking and whatnot, I don't want to go any further. I want to let her know that I see her, I hear her, and I'm not going to push her beyond what she's comfortable with. So. going to go ahead and ask her to keep her body off of me. She's wanting to bring that forequarters onto me. So I'm going to put some pressure to send her away from me. Nope. You can see she's kind of swinging her rear end to bring her head this way, and I don't care for that at all. So I stepped out of the camera, you guys. I'm sorry about that. I know it makes it a little bit hard, but what she was doing in that situation was she was rotating her butt, which then brings her head on top of me. And I put up a block and she ignored it, so then I put some pressure on it to send her forequarters away. And she doesn't quite know that very well yet, but you know, I had to set those boundaries with her now, because that kind of behavior escalates. If she can learn that she can move her butt away and get her head to where she wants it to be, you know, that behavior will just get worse and worse and worse. So I still had to stick with her until she stepped that forequarters away from me. And once she did that, I just walked away with the halter to give her some space, let her process that, and that way I can get back here in the camera for you guys too. So. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just come back to it again. There, she already seems a little bit tight. Just going to rub her, let her know that it's fine, walk away. It's interesting, you know, you guys probably have hearing me talk about her head a lot. With this mare, there she's tight. I've yet to see her kick. She has not yet tried to buck or rear. Her defense is 100% her head. She knows that if she can get her head in the proper position, that she can take control of the situation. So I'm pretty adamant about her keeping her head where I've asked her to keep it, because that's her control of the situation. So if I can get that mastered down and get a boundary there, it'll be a lot safer situation for me. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead, give her time to rest there with that. She feels tight still, but not terrible. I'm just gonna go ahead and just leave it here for now. There, her head's coming down, so try not to look at her, try to keep my legs relaxed, keep my body relaxed. There you can see her head's already dropping. I'm going to go ahead and tie that. That way I have a way to kind of control her from here. So there, that's tied, and I'm just going to let her rest in that and make sure that when I put the halter on her that she has time to realize that it's not always going to be a tool to control her. Sometimes it's just going to be there. Alright, that feels pretty good, you guys. I'm going to grab my rope and the fly spray, and we'll see if we can't get some fly spray on her. I have worked with her with the fly spray 2 days now. I've not fly sprayed her back feet yet, but I've been able to successfully fly spray her front feet. And so we're going to just go back, start again, just how I did the last 2 days that I worked with her on this. Make sure that she's comfortable with each stage of it, and then if I can get closer to her rear end today, then that would be a little bit of progress. But so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spray out to the side so she can hear it, she can see it, she can smell it, but it's not actually touching her. And I'm gonna stay there doing that until she relaxes. So once she seems relaxed with that, then I'll get closer and closer to her leg. So here's the spray. Her eyes are a little bit tight. She's definitely looking at it, but she is not moving her feet. The first couple times we did this, she was gone. So I'm going to reward her for standing still by stopping the spray, turning my back to her, making sure my body's relaxed. Once again, that might have been a little bit hard to see, but as soon as I turned my back away, she let out a big sigh. So that tells me that she's relaxing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get a little closer this time. That did touch her legs there. She is moving a little bit, but not near like she was. I'm just going to stick with it here just to make sure that I'm confident that she knows that she's not supposed to move. That was pretty good. Gonna go ahead and reward her for that. Noticed, I don't know if you guys can see this in my camera, I'm kind of close, but my string is super relaxed. It's like pretty much touching the ground. If you're trying to reward her for doing the right thing, your string needs to be super relaxed. That way there's no pressure. This horse feels no pressure. I'm not looking at her, I'm not touching her, I'm not pulling on the rope. So that's the best reward I can give this horse right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this side one more time to make sure she's confident with it, and then I'll move to the other side. So she wants to move there, but she thought through it, and she's holding still. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and just reward her for that. Such a sweet horse. You're such a sweet horse. So horses have two sides of their brain. They can learn something on one side of their body and not on the other. So you have to do stuff equally on both sides. And a lot of times you'll even find that a horse is less confident on one side of their body than the other. You'll end up having to do more on that less confident side just to get them stabilized here. And this side, this right side is, well, my right side, her left side is her more unconfident side. So we'll see how she does today, but she may be a little bit more reactive on this side. So I'm going to start with spraying the air so she can see it, feel it, or hear it, and see it. She is moving her feet, so I'm going to stay there until she holds still. If she's holding still, reward her for that. And there's a lick and chew. I'm going to come back, do the same thing again. She wants to move her feet. I'm gonna let her move her feet. I'm not gonna try to hold her still. I don't want to make it a scarier situation. I'm just gonna let her know that moving her feet's not gonna get her away from it. I'm going to continue to spray it, and it's gonna stay there until she holds still. And then once she holds still, that's when I'll take it away. That way she starts learning. If I don't like this thing, the way to get rid of it is to hold still. And I'm just going to keep coming back to spraying the air because she still hasn't successfully held still with that step of it. So, wind's working against us here. It's kind of blowing back on us. There, she held still that time, so I'm going to go ahead, reward her for that. I'd like to see her process that this time. Her head at least dropped and her eyes relaxed. There's a lick and chew. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer for them to process that, so especially if it was a more tense situation for them. But girl, this time I'm touching her with it. Once again, she thought about moving, and she's definitely looking at me. A little bit grumpy with what I'm doing here. But she held still, so it's going to get taken away. Once again, I want to see her process that before I move on. So a lick and chew, a sigh, some blinking, relaxed leg, any of that stuff. A good sign. horse is like ideal for teaching people what signs to look for when you're working with a horse, because she like 95% of the time gives me a lick and chew to let me know that she's processed it. It's really nice. Some horses kind of tense up and it like either takes a super long time to get that lick and chew, or they just won't give it to you. So I really like her because I can read her very well. So, all right, gonna go ahead. She tensed up when I walked over here, but we're just gonna stick with it until she relaxes. So she's moving her back feet. I'm spraying her more directly this time, so it makes sense that she's a little bit more tense this time. And as soon as she holds still, then I'll stop. Try not to look at her, try to keep my body relaxed. There's a big sigh. And her head dropped that time too. What a good girl. What a good girl. She's got some flies up under her belly, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get those. I'm going to bring her around if I can. She's not trained to lead yet, but she's getting it step by step, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get her to come with me here a little bit. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to reward every step that she gives me at this point, because she does not know how to be led yet, so any right response and effort she gives me, I'm going to reward. Oh, good girl, you're so smart. Good girl. That's way better than I could have even hoped for. So here I'm going to ask her to move her hind end over. And there, I think that gets us in a little bit better position for you guys to see what I'm actually doing here. And I just come in and rub her here to let her know that not every time I come over to this side of her body or the other side of her body that she's going to get fly sprayed. Yeah. Yeah. It's not always going to be so scary. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to spray out here next to her stomach, and then I'll get closer and closer as long as she's staying relaxed. So she's not moving her feet. Well, that's a good sign. Go ahead and reward that. Once again, the wind's working against me. It's blowing the fly spray away. I was hoping to not have to get so close to her. Good. Go ahead and spray right on the stomach. Her head went up there, but she's at least thought through and didn't move her feet. I'm going to reward her for not moving her feet. I'd love to actually see her relax in the exercise, so continue to do it until she relaxes. But this horse is so reactive that at this point I'm just rewarding her for not moving her feet, because her tendency is to run from everything. So just taking what I can get right now. It's really good. Really happy with that. That's the farthest I've gotten towards her rear end and whatnot. So, and there's a lick and chew. Like I said, textbook. She's awesome. Gonna go ahead and move to this side. There, she's already telling me she's a little bit unconfident. So I'm just gonna rub her and walk away. Let her know not every time. Alright, gonna go ahead, come in, gonna spray the air. She's unconfident with that, so I'm just going to stick with it until she holds still. There she's holding still, I'm going to reward her. There. It's a nice looking chew. You're so good. You are. You're so good. Come back. Make sure that she understood that what I want is for her to hold still. There, she moved her feet a little bit. She's thinking about it, but she still is a little too afraid, so she's moving her feet. It's fine. There, she's holding still. Reward her for it. And once again, we wait for her to think through that. And there it is. So I'm going to keep coming back to this, guys. I'm sorry if it's a little bit boring, but I'm going to keep doing this over and over again until she gives me the right response on the first try. So I really want her to learn that the solution is holding still and relaxing. This time I'm going to try really hard not to actually look at her stomach to avoid like putting any visual pressure on to make her think that she should be moving her body. So I'm going to keep my leg cocked, keep my body relaxed, and let her know that this isn't so scary. This is an exercise to move her feet. The results were way better that time. It's always something to keep in mind when, when I'm doing these exercises, horses feel pressure so intensely that even me looking at their body could be indicating to them that I'm putting pressure on them and that they should get away. I want my horses to be responding to something as simple as a look. I want them that connected to me. But I got to make sure that when I'm doing exercises where I want them to hold still, that I'm not giving a mixed message by putting pressure on with my body or my eyes or my voice, anything like that. So I'm happy with her. She's nice and covered in fly spray. She's kicking a lot less. So I feel like I can actually move on from here. So